What is going on, guys? The NFL is the biggest and most popular of all major North American professional sports leagues, and it's pretty unlikely to change anytime soon. Thanks to an offensive revolution that's taken over the league in the past 30 or so years, the NFL is more exciting than ever before. However, the overall entertainment value would be far better for us fans if NFL players didn't always do these super annoying things during games. Number 10, always signaling for a first down. NFL broadcasting networks are kind enough to give us a yellow line to know where the first down marker is. And of course, fans in attendance can easily spot the giant orange first down markers on the sidelines. So to the NFL, thank you for making it easy for your fans. We really appreciate it. It's pretty dope. Now, the NFL is a league where players just can't help but celebrate on seemingly 99.9% of the plays. One of the most irritating things in the NFL is when players constantly signal for a first down after they move the chains. Like, dude, we get it. We can see the yellow line on TV, and the fans in attendance can see the orange markers. What exactly are you trying to prove? Obviously, they're trying to help the cause of getting the first down. Maybe it'll convince refs that they actually got a first down. And gaining a first downs are as routine as anything else in sports. Does an MLB player get pumped up anytime he catches a fly ball?
Oh my God, I caught it! Umpires, I caught it, you see? You see? I caught it. Hey, I caught it. I caught it.
Do NBA players celebrate every time they make a basket?
Hey, I got it in. I got you. You see that? I got it in. Hey.
Do NHL players celebrate anytime they make a tape-to-tape pass? I'm not doing that voice thing again, you get what I'm saying. A quarterback will often celebrate hard when they run a first down, because they don't record them very often. If a receiver makes a great catch, or if a running back pulls off a huge run, sure, celebrate. Phillip Rivers is a prime example of when it's okay to signal a first down.
Look at him take off, and he gets hit around the neck by Mosley, but he'll signal first down, will he? Yeah, there you go.
But you don't have to do it time and time again. Dial it a bit back, guys, especially when it's a routine catch. But again, the celebration does kind of add hype to it, so I don't blame them. You know. Rob Gronkowski loved to celebrate during his career, and we all loved it. I loved it, everybody loved it. But obviously he got the first down. You don't have to keep reminding us. But again, a good Gronk celebration is always valued. All right, easy, Santonio Holmes. It was a routine play and a first down. Signaling a first down is just overdone. That's the official's job. The players could go ahead and just dial it back a bit and get back into the huddle ASAP instead. That would be pretty great. Number 9, trash talking from the sidelines. Trash talking is a big part of just about any sport. Or maybe not golf and tennis. It happens, but not often. But most of them, especially team sports. Even the classiest of NFL players would lie to you if they said they hadn't engaged in trash talking at some point. Sometimes you need to try to get under the skin of your opponent. That's fair, whatever. The easy way to do that is get in their head with some verbal jabs. We're all for some good old NFL trash talk on the field. On the field. It's especially common between defensive backs and wide receivers. You see it a lot between quarterbacks and defensive linemen or linebackers as well. But it's very irritating when trash talking is done from the sidelines. I mean, I guess it's another way to get into their heads. It's a team sport, that's fine. But a player has no business getting involved when they're not on the field. It's kind of like cyberbullying in a way. Like all you commenting in the comments below how this video sucks. I'd like to see you say that to my face on the field. Trash talk should always be limited to the guys who are actually on the field. Just imagine being a player on the offensive team. Do you want an offensive or special teams player from the other team trash talking you? No, it's irrelevant. The trash talking has to come from a guy you're actually competing against on the field. I think that's fair because in 5 seconds you can prove them wrong. It's different with coaches because they're involved in every aspect. But we've seen Bill Belichick get into it with Derek Mason and Adam Thielen. But when they come back at Belichick and challenge him, he can rightfully push back. Marcus Peters and Jalen Ramsey got into a heated trash talking confrontation following a 2019 Monday Nighter between the Baltimore Ravens and Los Angeles Rams.
The Ravens now 9-2.
That's fine, that's cool. At least they waited until after the game. Doing it from the sidelines would be a not so cool move. Like I said, from the sidelines, it's kind of like cyberbullying. You're hiding behind something knowing they can't do anything. Number 8, yelling into the camera. We're always up for a hilarious and creative celebration in the NFL. Be it after a touchdown, a big turnover, or a big clean hit. Spike the ball, do a funny dance, come up with something artistic. We'll always support it. But when players go in and yell into the camera, that's pretty arrogant. I know you're supposed to celebrate and be hyped and stuff and be crazy, but it's a little arrogant. We're not talking about heated post-game interviews or anything. Richard Sherman's ran towards Michael Crabtree at the end of the 2013 NFC Championship game was epic. He was asked a question and Sherman responded after he won the game.
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get.
But guys, if you make a big play, we don't necessarily need you right in front of the camera and yell in our face. I get it, you're a $1 million making athlete. That's dope. I'd be pretty hyped if I was too. And I definitely celebrate a lot, but I wouldn't go that far. Unless you have a fun way of doing it, like Tyreek Hill did after he caught a touchdown pass against the Arizona Cardinals during a 2018 game. We'd rather see you celebrate in a more cool and creative way. Number 7, too much eye black. Alright, this one is a bit of a stretch, I know that. We all know the reasons NFL players wear eye black. It supposedly helps their eyes avoid the glare from stadium lights and the sun. Sometimes players have a personal or religious message in their eye black. That's great, actually. I support that. And others should respect it too. But in some cases where players are wearing too much eye black, or even wearing it when there's no sun whatsoever, they might be just trying to look cool. Again, I know it's a bit of a stretch. I know we're being picky here, but we gotta make this list and we gotta choose something. So I don't really think they look that cool for applying that much eye black. Like, I get it. It's a style choice. It's also like part of the game. Maybe you're used to it. Maybe it's a pregame ritual. Maybe it's just something you like to do. But just put a regular amount on your eyes, you know, like a normal person. Maybe you want to stand out. I get it. Ahead of the 2014 season, the NFL also ruled that the NFL face paint was considered a uniform violation. That's seemingly been a factor in having players cut back on overdoing the eye black. But again, just wear some eye black, who cares? Number 6, going down instead of scoring. We should be crediting NFL players for selflessness in some of these cases. But when you factor in bets and fantasy football, doesn't it drive you crazy when a guy has an easy touchdown ahead of him only to play it safe by going down before the end zone? Now, they don't know you. They don't know your bets. They don't know your fantasy. So they're not going to care. They're going to do what's best for the team. I get that. We saw Todd Gurley do it in a 2018 game against the Detroit Lions. That was curious though, since the Lions still had one timeout left, and because it was ahead of the 2-minute warning.
Gurley will get to the end zone. He's going to run cross path. Look at this. I tell you, we saw him do it earlier this year.
Sure, Gurley ended up scoring a touchdown in the second and goal anyway. But what if he didn't? How many fantasy games were decided by Gurley going down? Again, we understand you're putting your team first, but some of us need that touchdown. And Gurley did the same thing in a game against the Packers earlier in the season, although it was a little bit more justified in the situation. But still, we wanted that touchdown.
More than enough for a first down, and Gurley will just shut it down inside the 5 to run out the clock.
Of course, Gurley wasn't the first guy to do this, though. Brian Westbrook of the Philadelphia Eagles did it during a 2007 game against the Cowboys.
Will keep it on the ground and run it with Westbrook, and that.
Sometimes you just gotta say whatever and get into the end zone. Remember the New England Patriots and Tennessee Titans 2019 wildcard game? Logan Ryan could have gone down when he picked off Tom Brady to seal the game, but Ryan made it look way sweeter by taking it to the house.
Brady's pass, it's intercepted and returned for a touchdown.
Number 5, running with the ball after the whistle. Again, you want to be safe. I get that. Every football player has been told by every coach they've had to keep playing until they hear the whistle. It's extremely common to see a defensive player pick up a loose football and run with it, waiting for the official to blow it dead. It's a smart play because sometimes you catch the opposition napping. But it's pretty irritating when you hear the official blow the whistle, not once, but twice or even 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times. And yet the player keeps running with the football. Again, they're being safe just in case. We get it. But the rule is that the play is dead once the whistle is blown. The officials cannot overturn it on a booth review, even if they blew the whistle too early. Now, there are plenty of annoying and controversial cases where an official blows a whistle that nullifies a big play. It happened to Myles Jack and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 4th quarter of the 2018 AFC Championship game against the Patriots. It happened to the Pats 2 years later in a pivotal Week 14 game against the Chiefs, which wound up determining a first-round bye. But when the referee blows the whistle, that's it. Your coach can't challenge anything. Just accept that the play is over and move on. Like your coaches always tell you, keep playing until you hear the whistle. Don't keep playing after the whistle. Also, though, you're a $1 million making athlete and I'm a YouTuber, so what do I know? Number 4, celebrating at the dumbest times. As stated earlier, we are all for a good celebration in football. Touchdowns, sacks, a defensive turnover, an unreal catch, a game-clinching play, anything. But don't you get a little bit irritated when players celebrate at random times? When it's not necessary. Remember when Lamar Houston of the Chicago Bears tore his ACL during a 2014 game after he sacked Jimmy Garoppolo in garbage time? Yeah, Tom Brady was taken out of the game by Bill Belichick because his team was winning by 25 points. Why would Houston even celebrate a sack on a second stringer when his team was getting embarrassed? I guess they're trying to look as good as possible in the moment. That's fair. Not gonna put your head down. But still, we all kind of know what's going on there. He's a second stringer, not Tom Brady. And then you always have a special teams player getting so pumped up after they tackle a guy. Like even if he returns the ball to the 25, which is as good as a touchback, the players will still get fired up. NFL players, don't get so pumped up over situations like garbage time plays. We get it, you're trying to keep your head in the game. But if it's simple tackles or first quarter field goals, save the celebrations for big plays and big moments. Number 3, complaining to refs when it's not a penalty. There's no shortage of officiating miscues in the NFL these days. But nobody's perfect and they're only human. Folks need to understand that. It's not their fault that the NFL lacks a sky judge and a fully efficient replay system. Could they incorporate that? Of course they could. They have the money. But they don't. Now it's justified when you see players complaining about a missed penalty call. Wide receivers are often held or interfered with. and yet a flag isn't drawn. We've seen quarterbacks take plenty of vicious hits without drawing a penalty. The frustration is justified, but it's a little bit tiring when you see players complaining to refs on plays that aren't penalties. It feels like 90% of the time when a receiver fails to catch the ball, he's screaming at the official for a pass interference flag. It's kind of like flopping in the NBA. Like, we know you're faking it and you're just trying to get a penalty, but come on. The referees often throw flags on phantom defensive PI and defensive holding. It balances out. Just because your quarterback made a bad throw, or just because you dropped it, or just because the defense made a nice play, doesn't mean it's automatically a penalty. Number 2, faking injuries. In many cases, it's too difficult to tell when an NFL player is faking an injury. Football is an extremely physical and punishing sport. Injuries are sadly inevitable. But come on now, plenty of so-called injuries are really fakes. You think it's a coincidence that a player on the defense is always hurt after a 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter, while the opposing team is driving with their no-huddle offense? Ever think that their so-called injury is being used to give their defense a break? In 2012, the NFL actually had to send a memo to teams about getting their players to refrain from faking injuries to stop the clock without the use of a timeout. Like, come on, do you actually think Emmanuel Sanders was hurt here?
It's another way. All of a sudden, Emmanuel Sanders gets an unbelievable cramp.
Looks like somebody wanted to get a stoppage for their team. It's unprofessional, classless, and ruins the integrity of the game when players are faking injuries. Thankfully, the NFL has done their part to try and stop players from slowing the game down by pretending to be injured. But still, it would be awfully nice if the players got on board and ended this madness as well. Do it for the fans, and for the players that actually get hurt. Number 1, taking stupid and selfish penalties. This is the worst of the worst, because it often determines the outcome of a game. It's very frustrating for coaches, players, and fans when one guy takes a mind-numbing, careless, or selfish penalty, especially at a pivotal time during a game. Let's not forget Vontaze Burfict's vicious headshot to Antonio Brown late in the 2015 AFC wildcard round. That was before teammate Adam Pac-Man Jones got another penalty for confronting Steelers assistant coach Joey Porter. That set up the Steelers for an easy game-winning field goal opportunity. And the 2 stupid penalties cost Cincinnati their first playoff win since 1990. Dee Ford's offside penalty in the 2018 AFC Championship cost the Kansas City Chiefs a trip to the Super Bowl, as it nullified a game-sealing Tom Brady interception. At least KC went on to win the Super Bowl the following year, although Ford was actually on the losing side of that game, as a member of the San Francisco 49ers. Jumping offside on 4th down when the offense is trying to bait the defense is just inexcusable. Taking pass interference on a Hail Mary or desperate passing play, also inexcusable. It can't happen. It's the absolute worst when a player takes a penalty that's just sloppy, or stupid, or selfish in any way. Teams don't put all that work and effort in to lose because of a lack of discipline, but it still happens way more than it should. What are some other annoying things that NFL players do during games? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything, go find us. If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to TPS. We post videos every single day. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.